Christy, all you guys, Christy, I'll start with you. I mean, they're trying to get certain policy ideas accomplished somehow, some way, but they're out there in the streets protesting. As you heard Mike say, a lot of them didn't vote. How are they advancing their cause at all?
They're really not. They're, you know, getting some coverage, which maybe is getting people to hear what they have to say, but
Sure.
It's not an effective way for them to do what they would like to do. They're really hurting the people who want to go shopping, who are the people that are living in the neighborhoods with them. Those people want to go for Black Friday. They're not really hurting the businesses, and they don't really have their goals defined very well. They kind of are all over the place in what they actually want to achieve here. And so they, you know, they're protesting President-elect Donald Trump. They're protesting racism, you know, saying that cops are being racist and targeting minorities. So they're a little bit scattered, and then, as you know, we just heard, they're not out voting, so that's really when they have the right to get their points across.
Yeah, they're making life difficult for anybody who wants to go and actually shop in Chicago, which, you know, if you think about it, Giano, you know, their economy is critical to their well-being. Sometimes they lose sight of perhaps the big picture in all of this. I mean, if people can't get in and out of the stores, ultimately that's not good for the community.
Yeah, you're right, Trish, and I'm from Chicago. I lived just a matter of a couple of blocks from where they're currently protesting, or where they were protesting. I want everybody to think about this number, because I believe this is a very powerful number. 47% is the representation of African Americans between the ages of 20 and 24 years old. Those folks are largely unemployed. So the folks that happen to be employed and may have a job downtown Chicago, those that are lucky enough to have that, they have to think about what these protests are doing in terms of these individuals' employment. In addition to that, I agree with the fact that this Black Lives Matter theme largely hasn't had real policies, prescriptions, and a way to get it done. I think that's problematic on many levels. And I think if they're going to do something like this, maybe they should say, hey, let's bring all folks to the table to talk about these very systemic issues in our community.
Well,
I think
okay, so you're getting back to the sort of the root issue that all lives matter, not just Black Lives Matter. We should bring everyone into this equation to improve life for everyone. Stuart,
Trish, may I? Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the truth is that there is a specific need to protest officially sanctioned murder of African Americans in our society. There's a specific need in Chicago to protest torture, forced confessions, police beatings.
You know, Stuart, I think the studies have proven this one out. No, but the studies, I just have to point this out, they have shown, Stuart, over and over again that, in fact, we have not seen African Americans suffer as a result of police officers. If anything, you know, police officers right now, Stuart, are the ones that are struggling. 67% increase in the number of deaths.
How many black kids need to be murdered before we see it as a problem? And yes, all lives matter, but right now we have a specific problem with Black lives. And Gianu, I'm sorry, but there are specifically specific policy. Will you let me finish, make a point?
Okay, finish, but I would only point out that the answer to that is not necessarily going and blocking everyone from getting in and out of the store.
There is a policy recommendation in Chicago, and that's the CPAC. It's also a protest against Mayor Emanuel's 2-week
I think what you're doing is demonstrating exactly what Black Lives Matter does. They argue over everyone. There's no policy specifics, and you.
In Chicago, there is a policy specific.
To come on Fox News
Gianna,
channel.
you're just wrong.
For you to come on Fox News channel with that kind of rhetoric is very dangerous, and I think it resembles that of many folks that protest, like Occupy Wall Street. I'm pretty sure you were a part of that movement. They got nothing done. This demonstration has its roots in the picketing and the boycott of stores during the Civil Rights Movement in the early and mid-'60s. That's where this demonstration has its roots. And we're on national TV talking about it and talking about the murder of black kids. That is a victory. Just that we're raising it and talking about it.
Okay, so you see this as a plus because, you know, here they're commanding some time on national airwaves.
Not just
and
that.
there are, you know, protests going on. We're looking at live pictures of it right now.
Not
so
just
this
that.
To you
Why do you put words in my mouth? Trish, this is ridiculous.
Forgive me, Stuart, if that's not what you said. I thought you just said that the protests were a positive thing.
Neil would never put that, and that's not the only thing the protests are doing. They're challenging their city, the people in their city, to look with compassion on black lives and black kids and African Americans, and to do something about systemic violence against African Americans.
And the point the panel is making, what you heard from Giano, is there are other ways to do it. There are other ways in that you should get out and vote. You know, why are they taking to the streets to protest as opposed to going about it in a sensible way?
That's very unfair. You all pick out one or two people who didn't vote and then say that's everybody. That's very unfair and not accurate at all.
Stuart, I would ask that you join with me. Stuart, I would ask that you join with me as we come up with some policy solutions to target the criminal justice reform. So we need criminal justice reform, and I think
I'd be happy to do that.
Which I'm a part of, and these are law enforcement officers, these are prosecutors, all the folks that come together to make these very important decisions. And I think if you have, and so I do deal with this stuff on a regular basis. I work with Republican leadership on the Hill when it comes to these issues. I think that's when we can actually get something done. So protesting is important when it's utilized in the correct way, but there's other ways in which you take that attention, the national attention that you just mentioned, and you get policy done. And I think that's what
I agree. We get some agreement.
I'm glad that we can agree.
What do you say? Last word to Christy before we go, guys.
Thank you. I was going to say, to Gianno's point, I think that if you want to raise awareness and say that there are some racial issues that we have to address, you don't do it by adding more racial tension and saying, you know, we're only going to block stores that have white owners.
Wait.
If you look at their Facebook, that's what it is. You can't say that. And if you want to look at the facts, Stuart, you have to